went into this one a bit skeptical because I wasn't the biggest fan of Covino's previous movie, The Climb, but I'm happy to say that I enjoyed this one more than that one. Splitsville premiered at the Cannes Film Festival earlier this year to some decent buzz. I didn't hear too much about it. I heard some people really liking it, some people not really vibing with it. I was curious to check it out, mainly because of the two female leads, Adria Arjona and Dakota Johnson, two of the best female actors, in my opinion, working today. I checked out the previous film from this duo partner of Micheal Angelo Covino and Kyle Marvin. They co-write their movies together. Covino is full on directing though. While I wasn't crazy about their previous movie, The Climb, like I did say, this movie was one that I had more of a fun time with. I think it is funnier, it is just more tight and more focused. Plus, it shows that Covino is continuing to grow as a director. The Climb was a very ambitious movie from a directorial perspective, lots of long takes from a staging and technical perspective. I can just imagine how much of a struggle it probably was to get that movie completed. Splitsville doesn't have as much of the long takes, oneers. In fact, I'm trying to even struggle to think of one in this movie. But it shows that Covino kind of learned from his mistakes, I feel like, a little bit in terms of focusing on a story. This one is more vignette focused like The Climb, which I'm not particularly crazy about, but especially in one sequence where it kind of reminded me of the big notable sequence in Sinners, the musical sequence that everyone was talking about this year, deservedly so, because of how it was edited, moving through different periods of time. And no, it's not as crazy as that sequence. It has that staging aspect of it where everything has to be just perfectly on time, and I'm sure that they did multiple takes just kind of cutting seamlessly together. My biggest problem with Splitsville is that it loses steam around like the halfway mark, and then you're kind of just like chugging along to the finish line. It kind of just loses momentum and starts to stall and doesn't really know where to end. But from the positives, this movie is much funnier than The Climb. At least to me it was. Like, obviously comedy, the most subjective genre, but I thought this one, seeing it with a crowd especially too, I think definitely elevated it. There's a lot of good laughs here, some subtle stuff, and then stuff that's just overtly just right in your face, and it's entertaining. And this entire cast has great comedic timing, but particularly Kyle Marvin. He was kind of just stole the show for me. He's super talented, and I hope that after The Climb and now this, he starts to get more roles and kind of can go off and do his own stuff, or he can keep doing his stuff with Covino. I'm not opposed to that. One of the funniest moments is an extremely well choreographed fight sequence, but like up there for one of the best of the year. It is elongated, and you're kind of just like, where is this gonna end? But you're also at the same time like, I'm having a good time watching this. Like, I don't want it to end. Plus, there was one of the most honestly profound lines of dialogue that I've heard in 2025 thus far. I don't want to spoil it, but it's very early on in the movie, and if you know, you know. Something that maybe was intentional, Covino wanted this, or it just happened and Covino was like, we're gonna roll with it. Dakota Johnson, it seems like she was breaking in a lot of sequences. Like, there was a lot of moments where she just laughs, probably unintentionally. It felt SNL in the sense of kind of just like, the show keeps moving, like, we gotta keep going. And it was different because this is not live. Like, they obviously could have done more takes, or that was intended. I don't know. I wish that the writing went a little bit further. It does feel surface level in its exploration of open relationships. Kind of hoping for a little bit more to chew on, but we didn't really get that. It's a funny watch though, entertaining, and I think that the cast and the writing in terms of the comedy, probably the best part about it. It's really funny. While it probably could have been trimmed down and it starts to stall about halfway through, it doesn't really know how to end, I thought that it was a fun watch and one that I just thought was a good time. I'm gonna give Splitsville a B-, and I would recommend seeing this one in a theater. Especially just because it's so much fun to see it with a big crowd, if you can, of course. Comedy is just that much funnier when you're struggling to hear the following lines of dialogue when a joke just came on and everyone's just laughing so hard. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on Splitsville down below in the comments. What did you think of the movie? I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, look forward to more content coming soon. My name is Ben, people call me Meter, and I'll see you guys in the next one.